Hello, everyone, and welcome to another podcast with MsWrestleBlog. I'm Brandie, and here is my co-host with the most, introducing himself.
Devo, once again.
Yes, Devo has returned for another Raw reaction. Now, we are reacting to the Raw that just came on yesterday, on the 27th, and here's some statistics about this Raw. This Raw was down from the week before, which is strange, considering last week's was so great, but what we saw is that actually in the second and third hour, a continual growth coming back up. So that leaves us with their average viewing for this week was 3,672,333 viewers. So not bad. I mean, nowhere near what it has been in the past, but definitely starting to trend upwards, it looks like, especially because normally we see it fall an hour 2 and 3, and this time we saw it pick up, so that was very interesting. Okay, well, this Raw opens with a recap of Brock Lesnar and Undertaker's breakdown from last week. An impressive video montage of it.
Just the video itself was good to watch. Good quality, good putting it together. Just a good video and a good place to stick it, starting at Raw, so you get pumped for the rest of the show.
Well, yeah, well, it's a nice little reminder, and also it was really the only other time that it was very heavily mentioned throughout the course of the show. So just a way to keep it in the viewer's head. So after the package with Lesnar and Taker goes off, all that destruction and carnage, we open the show with the old standby of The Authority. We've got Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Seth Rollins lumbering their way to the ring.
Yeah, the same way we've opened all Raws for the past 2 years with exceeding rarity and exception. The Authority.
Now, The Authority come out, and just from a female's point of view, I would just like to say Triple H and Stephanie relationship goals. They are so adorable. I was watching Triple H's video in the background and saw like all these montages of them together, and I'm like, say what you want about them, but they're precious. I think they're really cute. But anyway, so we've got Stephanie and Triple H and Seth Rollins out there, and they are hitting us with some little bombs of their own. The first thing they really announced is that SummerSlam is going to be an epic 4 hours.
4 hours. 4 hours. The only other time I've ever heard of an event being 4 hours from them is a WrestleMania.
Yeah, so it's, well, you know, they're really trying to build SummerSlam as, like, I know it's supposed to be Royal Rumble, it's supposed to be the second big show, but because SummerSlam is right in the middle of the summer, they're really trying to capitalize on that.
Well, what's good about that, too, is SummerSlam is one of the old standby, one of the old guard from when they first started doing pay-per-views, so it's got prestige. I like that. 4 hours for a classic show. Let's do it, just as long as you can deliver the content.
Yeah, let's hope on that they can deliver the content. That opens up so much going into SummerSlam. Well, so the main thing behind The Authority tonight is that it's going to be a night of firsts. We've got, you know, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens going up against each other for the first time.
That's an interesting matchup. That's a very interesting matchup on a lot of points. Both of them are extremely vicious, just in two totally different ways.
Yeah, I was really pumped to see that on the card.
I think that's going to be a good mix.
Another first that we had was Dean Ambrose versus The Big Show.
Yeah, and considering the SmackDown that we were at in Birmingham, with the ending of that SmackDown with the DDT countering the chokeslam through the announce table, that was awesome. Not because this is DDT through the table, but just because it looked good and they did it well.
Yeah, they really did. So I was excited to see them go one-on-one.
With the Great One!
Okay, well, you can't not say it. You can't not say it. Okay, and another announcement they had was former NXT and Divas champion Paige going up against current NXT champion Sasha Banks.
The Boss!
The Boss! I love that little woman. Okay, so, you know, we've got all of these announcements going on. This first ever this, first ever that. And we're all kind of pumped because The Authority's kind of being a little face right now. And then we get Mr. Rollins on the microphone. And Mr. Rollins likes to talk about, he knows a thing or two about first. He likes to talk about, you know, he was the first man to cash in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. And
which is what got him the trip to Suplex City in the first place.
He had some bragging rights about coming out the champion after Battleground. It's like, you have Taker to thank for that, but whatever, you know, keep on stroking your ego. Well, we hear Seth, and then, lo and behold, here comes Mr. John Cena.
To his credit, last week, like I said on our last review, John Cena's reaction to what Rollins was spewing was a very positive reaction. I was happy to see for once Cena got some good crowd reaction.
Yeah, I think they're still saying John Cena sucks, but it wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as bad, and you're actually getting some cheering again.
Yeah, that was what I noticed, is that there was definitely more cheering. That didn't just sound like a horde of small children screaming.
Yes.
It actually sounded like there were some adult fans in there.
Well, he comes to the ring in response to Seth saying, well, you, the fans, need to just admit that I am the greatest WWE heavyweight champion of all time. Well, Cena takes offense to that, rightfully so.
I don't really see why Triple H wouldn't have taken offense to that.
Yeah, you'd think that he would stick his giant nose into that little argument.
Oh, noses. It's a night of noses, but we'll get to that.
It is a night of noses.
We'll get to that later. But, so, Cena comes out there and essentially challenges Rollins for his title.
I knew when Cena was coming out there that we were going to have Cena challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship, which, like I said last week, he needs to back away from that belt.
Yeah.
Let's let some of the new blood start building it, especially since I'm shaky about him getting another title reign simply because of Ric Flair's record. I'm sorry.
I don't know that he quite deserves to break that out.
No.
But Stephanie McMahon vetoes that, even though she took it to the audience.
That was great. Great heel move.
That was a really great heel move with her. And then we actually had Triple H make the match, but it was for John Cena's United States title.
In response to Stephanie saying, you have to earn it, Rollins is right. You have to earn it. Well, I couldn't help but smile a little bit right there. Good. That's something a little different, and it's not Cena challenging for the world title. Now we've got something that you don't see very often, champion versus champion, and Cena is going into this at a true disadvantage.
Definitely.
Not just kayfabe disadvantage. No matter how you look at this, that's a disadvantage on his point.
Yeah, it was. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the champion versus champion. I understand why they have inserted John Cena into the fray, because they don't really have anyone as a strong possibility for a championship match. So I think that, we'll probably actually see John Cena challenge at SummerSlam for the title.
I really hope he doesn't win it. I mean, I love the guy on the level of humanity. He's a stand-up human being. He's a stand-up wrestling fan, but as a gimmick, as a performer, and as a piece of wrestling history, God, no.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we'll actually see him win it. I think it really is just to buy them some time to build up somebody to challenge for that,
I hope so.
Or to buy some time for Taker and Brock to happen, and then we'll get Brock back in the title hunt. I don't know. I don't know really what's going on, what their plans are. That's what's going to be interesting to tune in and see for the next 8 weeks now, because we don't know what's going to happen at the pay-per-view after SummerSlam.
That's very true. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Okay. So all of that is set in stone, and we get the night kick-started with our match. Our first match of the night, our first of first, and that is Dean Ambrose, the Lunatic Fringe, versus The Big Show. Okay, well, after they get to the ring, we notice that Miz is on commentary again, because for some reason they feel like we can't go through a Monday night without Miz's big mouth interfering with something.
I can't stand Miz. I'm just going to put that out there right now, so there's never any question in the future. The man annoys the living crap out of me.
He does. And I know that's probably a good thing in some aspect of, oh, yay, if, the more heat he has, the better of a heel. No, he just makes my skin crawl, and I'll turn the TV. There's a heel that you love to hate and that you want to watch get their ass kicked. When The Miz is on TV, I just want to turn it off.
The Miz, to me, is one of those kids that I hated in high school that just has one of those faces that you want to punch just for the hell of it.
Yeah. I felt that way about him when he was on The Real World all those years ago.
Of course. It's never gone away.
Yeah. But you know what kept me from changing the channel on this?
What's that?
Dean Ambrose with no shirt on. That kept me from changing.
Well, Big Show ripped that shirt off, what, 3 seconds into the match?
3 seconds into the match. I know, so we've got Dean with no shirt on and these jeans that he's just been poured into. Somebody better thank his mama. That's all I have to say about Dean Ambrose. But, okay, so we've got this matchup between this giant Big Show and this lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose. And in the past, they haven't used Big Show very well, but I thought
That's an
they
understatement.
used... Yeah, well, yeah. I thought they used him really well in this match.
This is how you should have been using the Big Show from day one. This is a man that's, what, 7'2"? He's
500 pounds.
I don't think he's 500 anymore. I think he's about 480, 475. But regardless, this is a giant. And if you go back to his work as the Giant in WCW, you know how dominant this man can be. They actually put a match together where he's playing the part of a giant who really should not be able to be beaten. He comes out there hitting hard, hitting fast. Well, I mean fast as far as the match pace goes. And he nails the choke slam, which you don't see him use that much anymore. But he hits the choke slam, and Ambrose kicks out. Okay, that shouldn't have happened, but he choke slams him again, and the running joke starts with him rolling out of the ring. Every time he gets back in the ring, he's rolling out of the ring.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was a great idea because it gives him space between that. And I also like that his strategy was to use himself as a human lawn dart.
You almost have to.
Because in the beginning, we have him drop kicking the Big Show through the ropes, running and doing a suicide dive through the ropes, getting back up, going to the top rope, going to jump off the top rope, and that's where it kind of starts going south because Big Show grabs him and winds up messing him up then. But
yeah, the choke slams, I'm glad to see him using that move again. And of course, after the first kick out, he's like, oh my God.
And also, in this match, I don't know if you noticed, but we saw Big Show throw a super kick and a spear.
A particularly nasty spear, too.
Yeah.
Ambrose sold that with the flip off of his neck. That was awesome.
Yeah. And like we were mentioning earlier, I love it when Dean Ambrose crawls back into the ring at 9 and then proceeds to just throw himself out again.
Yes.
Just because you see him kind of going at the Big Show, and then he just fish flops out of the ring. And it's so funny.
Dean Ambrose, in this match, shows why, to me anyway, he's so good at what he does, why he is a master of his craft. Everything he does has a purpose. He's got a gimmick. He's this lunatic. And every little movement that he makes you believe from head to toe, this man is insane.
Well, one thing that people always talk about is how gritty that he is in the ring, and that comes from having grown up in public housing and stuff like that. Like, he's had a hard life, and you really see that street fight feel progress into his wrestling matches, even though he does still throw some wrestling moves. So he, to me, is a brawler-type person without being... Sometimes being a brawler is just boring. It's so boring to me to just watch a bunch of guys club each other a few times and do a suplex. That's boring. But you don't get that with Ambrose. You get that grittiness that we've not seen from anyone before, and then you get all these crazy antics.
See that, and that's why you'll hear me say it now and a lot in the future. To me, he is the perfect marriage between a Mick Foley and a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Definitely. And I love watching Dean Ambrose.
I love him. I love the guy.
Everything from how he carries himself in the ring to the faces he makes.
All his facial expressions are part of the fun.
Just
God, when Show hit him early in the match before the first commercial break, he had this grimace on his face that looked like he was dislocating his own jaw.
that was really funny. But yeah, I can't say enough positive about Dean Ambrose, and this match was actually really enjoyable to watch because it had good psychology.
It had classic ring psychology. It made the Big Show look like a giant, an unstoppable giant, but at the same time made you really get behind Ambrose and believe this guy really was a lunatic.
Yeah, and you have that moment where you're like, good God, Dean Ambrose. You know, you have JBL screaming, stay down, and you just won't. And I love that Dean Ambrose will not die kind of thing. And that
he will not stay down.
Yeah, that was really played out in this match.
And then the end of the match. There's, of course, the way it ended. Dean Ambrose again going for the suicide dive, and Show nailing him right beside of the head in midair with that KO punch.
That was a beautiful bump. I mean, it was nasty, but it was beautiful.
It looked real. That's the great thing about Ambrose. For some reason, he gets that thing about his form, even though it's not pretty. It looks like CM Punk. He's got lead in his ass.
Yeah.
But he makes those bumps, and when he has to, in midair, change direction or whatever, he makes you believe it. He gets hit and goes limp and just falls.
Yeah, well, you said that on our last Raw reaction. Dean Ambrose will take any bump, and he proves it night after night.
I'm beginning to wonder if they're going to let him climb the cell someday and take a Foley.
Well, he had a cell match with Seth Rollins, and they did go up on it. Not as high as you would think, but they did go up, and they did go.
No, I'm expecting one of these days we're going to see that man pull a Mick Foley off the top of a Hell in a Cell.
There's really no telling what we're going to see from Ambrose. I'm sure the front office doesn't even know what they're going to see from Dean Ambrose.
I'm sure that scares the hell out of them, too.
Okay.
But after the match, you think Big Show is going to give him a little bit of respect. Instead, with Ambrose against the barricade, he tries to go for that spear through it, sidestep, and Show goes headfirst through the railing. And it's out cold with Ambrose laughing, although he only gets a couple of laughs out before he's grabbing his ribs and coughing, and then he limps out of the ring looking like a complete cripple.
Oh, yeah. But, this match, I loved this match because it was so good that it made me forget about Miz shrieking on commentary.
Yeah,
nice.
you forget that the man's presence is even there, which, that's kind of hard to do. Props to Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, totally. I wonder if we're going to see Dean Ambrose get thrust back into this Intercontinental title.
I remember, I don't know if it was on our last Raw reaction or if it was just something that we were having a discussion about personally, but the Intercontinental title needs to be, they need to throw a whole pool of guys that are just under that World Heavyweight title level and put some legitimacy back to that title. Because you've got everything you need to have a true division out of that belt.
Well, I want to see Miz drop out of it. I want to see Ryback drop out of it. And I hate to be this way, but I don't want to see King Barrett anywhere near it. I'm beginning to feel like the IC title is cursed. Because all of the people so far that have had it in the past year or so have randomly gotten hurt. Wade Barrett had it and was at a really high part in his career. Boom, out with a shoulder injury.
Yeah,
Daniel Bryan.
He's cursed. Barrett's just been cursed with injuries from the beginning, though.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan, again, having that pre-existing injury, and that's a whole different controversy, as we've had information come up very recently, but that's for another time. But Ryback's, that's random as hell. Staph infection in the knee? Where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Well, Ryback having the damn title is pretty random, if you ask me. He's not.
It is. He's not, in my opinion, not Intercontinental material at the moment.
I'm thinking Dean Ambrose definitely needs to be in that run and probably actually needs to get the title at some point. I'd love to see Cesaro in it.
I think Cesaro needs to just go straight for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah,
He's
but
hit
I don't
that
think they're
level.
going to let it. I don't think they're going to. Well, they might be building to now, according to what happens later in the night. We're seeing Cesaro getting used more and more. He's having 5-star classic matches.
Well, he's got it in him to have a 5-star classic every match. Just look at his independent and NXT work when he was Claudio, I can't pronounce the last name. I can never remember how to pronounce it. But when he was playing that gimmick, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a guy his size should not be doing the stuff he was doing.
Yeah, and he's amazing.
Yeah, freak of nature.
Amazing
He's
to watch.
naturally blessed.
Okay, well, the next match that we have on our card is Fandango
Oh, Jesus.
versus Adrian Neville. I said it. Adrian Neville. Please stop getting rid of everyone's name. His name is Adrian Neville.
Yeah, what is it? The superstars, and I hate using that word, the male roster, you take away their first name, and then the divas, you take away their last name.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. But Adrian Neville.
Adrian Neville.
We've got Fandango versus Adrian Neville. Okay, so going into the match, it's kind of even-paced at first. You've got your classic whole rope run, duck down to the thing with them. But then you get, in the middle of this, you get this awesome random submission from Fandango.
Fandango comes out of nowhere with a gory stretch.
It was beautiful.
And not only was it a gory stretch, it was one that he was doing perfectly in form and execution, and it looked awfully nasty.
It really did. I was like, I have not seen this submission ever, I don't think, except maybe on the video games or something. I've never seen anyone really use it before. And I think that's good. I think it's good that Fandango is trying to keep himself relevant because...
Yes, he's got to do something.
Right now, there's really nothing for Fandango except the nostalgia of it's fun to go do-do. do, do.
And he's not even using that music anymore.
Is he not?
No, he's got a new theme.
Oh, wow. Well, that's decent. I don't know what they're going to do with Fandango, because the man that plays Fandango is actually a very talented wrestler. But what are they going to do? They've kind of painted him into the corner. He's got no dancers. He's got no storyline going with anyone. He was just kind of thrown in this match with Neville. And Neville's actually just been suffering a little bit from the fact that they bring him up to the main roster, and he's just been doing a lot of low-profile matches.
Not only that, but he comes up and they drastically change his gimmick.
Yeah.
This whole superhero thing is kind of retarded.
It's lame.
It's lame.
It's really lame.
And it's not Neville. It takes away from the edginess. No, actually, it doesn't take away. It kills the edginess.
I have to agree. I'm not here for the whole he's a superhero wearing a superhero cape.
The music's alright for Neville, but other than that, let's just have NXT Neville.
Yeah.
But as far as the quality of his matches, that has not changed a bit.
No. You know what always amazes me about Neville is his ability to land on his feet.
Yeah,
constantly.
I don't understand. He really does. He is the man that gravity forgot. And he proves it whenever he can pull himself out of the middle of a flip and land on his feet perfectly like a cat.
It's insane. So, of course, this isn't a very long match.
Oh, no, this is more of a squash match.
It really is. It's just a squash kind of match. And what we have is Adrian Neville winning and celebrating in the ring, and then someone who's been kind of plaguing him the past couple of weeks, all of a sudden on our screen is Stardust.
This promo, to me, felt nothing like anything Stardust has done before. It's like Cody Rhodes woke up that morning and went, I need to do something with this.
Yeah.
I gotta quit half-assing this. That felt to me like he was channeling Goldust.
Yeah. Well, ever since Cody had came back, one of the first things, like, when he came back after his father's passing, is that there was a picture of him in Stardust, and it was a quote from Dusty, and it says, finish what you start, kid. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to continue playing out this Goldust character, and I think he's really throwing everything behind it, because, it's not just about the character anymore. It's about making his father proud, and it's about making himself proud. And Cody Rhodes,
I haven't put that together. That makes perfect sense.
Cody Rhodes has a way of delivering. I mean, he's excellent in the ring, and whatever character they've given him, he's always delivered with that character.
He's always delivered, but to me, he's always delivered that minimum needed to make it work. This felt different.
Well, he's got this now going on with Adrian Neville, plus the guy from Green Arrow, the show. So he's got a couple of irons in the fire. But I'm really interested because what we see on that is that Stardust wants to save everyone from the overprotectiveness of do-gooders. He wants to erase those strings. He wants people to start questioning the unknown and the strange.
And there's a lot of potential for a really good psychological character. From that alone, from this one promo, Stardust has opened the door for so many unique things if the WWE would just grab hold of it and really play it out.
Well, for me, Stardust needs to do something about his makeup because it is terrible.
Yes,
agreed. He needs to talk to Big Brother about how to do the makeup. But other than that, this feud has a lot of places it can go. It doesn't have to just be a squash, low-card feud. It can go somewhere.
It can. Like I just said about Stardust, you've got a potential for some real psychological gems if you just grab hold of that opportunity.
Hopefully the WWE will let them to continue with that. But what we have up next is, after that, we have a backstage segment with Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, and the members of Team Bad. Okay, I just have to put it out there that this backstage segment, this Paige, it is physically painful for me to watch Paige talk anymore. She is so far removed from the Paige that I fell in love with at NXT that I cringe when I see her on screen.
Totally agree with you. Look, what made Paige so great and what made me fall in love with her, of course, I think she's gorgeous anyway, but she's got that unique look too, and she's an excellent wrestler, and she's a badass. That is what made her the NXT Women's Champion, and She was vicious. And when she did talk, you listened.
Yeah.
Now you're right. It's physically painful to see her fall from such.
It's this catty, annoying, fake ass stuff.
It is fake. It's incredibly fake.
It's so wooden. It's so not who her character is supposed to be. They're trying to push her as this face, and that's fine, but she's an anti-diva. She's an anti-hero.
Yes.
She needs to be playing that character, and she can play that character and still be with Charlotte and Becky.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have to be, oh, well, look at where this Divas Revolution is going. I'm so excited. Let me go get some old-time gum. I mean, it's really...
In fact, it would be more appropriate for a Divas Revolution if she didn't do that.
Yeah.
Get out there and get it done.
We have enough of that fake bullshit coming out of Team Bella. We don't need it.
Isn't that fake bullshit what made the Divas division what it is?
Yeah, so...
The fact we need a revolution to get out of it?
Yeah, I hate to rag on Paige, because I know she's young and that she's trying, but this version of Paige...
It's this version.
...can suck an egg.
We know what she's capable of. It was in NXT. You have it on camera. You have it on film. It's not like you don't have something to fall back on. Give me that Paige, please.
But then, of course, we've got Team Bad who comes in there with Sasha the Slayer just killing it with her character, as always.
That woman is made for this business.
Oh,
I've said it before. I've said it on the last Raw reaction. She oozes the charisma. She is transplanted from an earlier age when you had to have that kind of charisma. Damn!
And when Sasha Banks talks, you don't go, oh, please just shut up, you're so wooden. You're like, this bitch is bad.
This bitch is bad.
And I love that about Sasha, and that's why I'm like, please, for the love of God, Sasha, save us.
And my two girls are Paige and Becky Lynch. I'm sorry, anyone who does not agree, you can leave your comments, but that is my opinion. I love those two women.
I love them too. Sasha, just for me, is the one that's up there for me because she is the total package.
She is the total package. You know, and as much as I love those two, I can't disagree with you. She has got it all.
It used to be that I would say that Sasha, Paige, and Becky, and Paige definitely being high up there for me, but Paige has really fallen for grace for me. So she's got to earn back my love with some better acting and some better matches.
I think what they need to do with Paige is not let her talk that much and just let her be the vicious little anti-diva she used to be. That's all she needs. That's what got her to the dance in the first place.
Oh, I agree. And, you know, speaking of talking, Charlotte Flair, she was so natural in that promo. It was very
She was. She only had, what, like one line, two lines? And you could feel emotion off of her. She's a natural speaker, and she's Ric Flair's daughter. What did you expect? And I love the fact, right in Sasha's face, woo!
That is so fun. Okay, well, let's get into the match then. All right, so this match starts off with a classic lockup between the two ladies. And you really don't see either giving too much. I mean, it's really back and forth. It keeps takeover rolls and eventually rolls out of the ring, where we see like each member of the teams come and stand beside their prospective friend. And you think maybe there's going to be a breakdown there, but nope. The two wind up sliding back in. This match, for me, overall, was okay. I think it was a really strong performance by Sasha, not Paige's best performance by any means.
And, you know, as I have stated, my two girls are Paige and Becky Lynch. Paige, you got outclassed in this match, and we know you're better than that.
Yeah, well, the beginning of the match, she just kept doing one move and slapping a pin.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I think that's lazy. I think that shows that you're taking, you know, kayfabe-wise, you're taking your opponent not seriously. And I think it's, you know, it usually leads to a mistake.
Well, usually when you want to do those quick pins like that, you do them with different moves to get in your opponent's head. But doing the same move over and over again is just a bad move on all sides and at all levels. Now, Paige did throw some pretty nice-looking moves. She did a backflip arm drag that was really pretty.
Yeah, that was very nice.
She did a couple of judo-style hip tosses that were pretty.
Yeah.
But she started getting sloppy in the middle of the match. Her drop kicks are gone. I thought Nikki Bella's and Brie Bella's drop kicks were horrible. Paige?
Brie Bella's drop kick has gotten a lot better. It's actually very good. It's one of the best in the Divas division.
She does that front drop kick.
Yeah.
But Paige,
Becky Lynch has an awesome drop kick too.
Does she have an actual missile drop kick?
No, she doesn't have a missile. But Brie has a missile drop kick, and it looks pretty good. If her second rope drop kick is a missile drop kick. Her Brie mode drop kick.
Yeah, when I think missile drop kick, I think Hardcore Holly and
Sting.
Sting.
I was just going to say that. I was like, Bob Holly.
Bob Holly and Sting
is who I associate with the missile drop kick.
Well, I think Sting, but...
Yeah. But no, Paige for the past half a year, if not more, to me, has just been a disappointment.
She really has, and I personally think it has a lot to do with putting her on Total Divas.
Well, I don't know. No, because she was stinking up the place with some shitty wrestling before Total Divas. She's gotten to the main roster, and I don't know what's going on. I guess she got used to working at a lower quality or something. Because
that's possible.
She is not as technically sound. Her moves are sloppy. She's botch prone. It's just
it's sad to see that because we know where she can be.
Oh yeah, just go back to just last year. Well, not last year, but you know what I mean. The year before, where she's having these amazing matches with Emma, with Natalya, with.
Oh my God, that match with Natty was amazing.
Yeah, these are classic matches, and she's showing such technical prowess to come up to the main roster. And her first Diva run, her first Divas Championship run, she had some standout matches. She had some really good matches, especially with Naomi. And now it's just been down the drain ever since.
She's going to have to pick it up, especially with, if she's going to stand next to Becky Lynch and Charlotte, she's going to have to, especially if she's going to stand across the ring from Sasha.
Yeah, exactly. And furthermore, it's like Paige on Total Divas and things talks about Eva Marie being lazy and not training and stuff. It's like you've had all the training in the world and your work has gotten sloppy. Maybe you need to stop worrying about what Little Miss All Red Everything is doing and start worrying about putting out a decent product in the ring because you have not been delivering.
Well, it's one thing to start off being at that level of low quality. It's another to get to that top level of fantastic quality and then drop.
Yeah, and how the mighty has fallen, in my opinion, the Paige. Nothing, I hate to rag on her like that, but, I mean, it's kind of the harsh truth about it.
It is harsh truth.
A lot of fans don't want to admit it because they just want to love Paige because she's the anti-diva and blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's the same reason they didn't want to say anything bad about AJ Lee.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to sit here and wax nostalgic over the fact that she used to be an amazing wrestler because right now, she is not an amazing wrestler.
Well, she is an amazing wrestler. She's just not giving that.
Yeah.
And that's a choice. I really think that that's just all choice.
I do too because, you know, you could have argued in the past, well, she doesn't have the best people to work with. Well, okay, she just had Sasha Banks to work with.
Yeah, she had. Why didn't her and Sasha tear the roof down?
Yeah, and it's not like that was the first time in reality they had ever mixed up. They mixed up down in NXT, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, during all of that and everyone gets thrown out, before everyone gets thrown out, before the commercial break, we see Paige finally kind of kick it up a notch and start doing something other than let me throw you down and then pin you. She has that top rope spot, which...
That was nice.
That was nice. You don't see Paige go airborne that often.
And I noticed something. She came down on Naomi's throat forearm first. That had to hurt like hell.
I didn't notice that. That did have to hurt like hell. But, you know, so that's how we leave the thing. And then we come back from commercial, and the teams have been thrown out, and it's all about Sasha and Paige. And this is where we see Sasha just light it up.
Yep.
Her facials,
Oh, yeah.
Her facials are on point.
This is where she does a spot mocking Paige that is...
Oh,
You couldn't ask for a better, what's the word I'm looking for? A better performance? Is that really what you could call this? But, I mean, it was spot on for a heel mockery.
Oh, yeah. And, like, it added so much dimension to this match that it was lacking. I really think the match got so much better after the other teams were taken out.
Yeah, and again, I hate to brag on Paige. I love that woman, but when they were gone, and it was just her and Sasha, she really got outshone.
Yeah, she got it handed to her, definitely. But the part with Sasha mocking Paige was so smug and so just... I just loved it. You could eat it it was saucy. You could eat it with a spoon.
Oh, it was so dang saucy.
It was great.
Maybe JR will barbecue, or barbecue. Maybe he'll package that up.
Yeah. Paige trying to escape the chokehold was pretty neat.
That was awesome. That straight jacket, I guess you could call it a surfboard. kind of a surfboard,
Kind of.
but no matter how you look at that, what you want to call it, vicious. And that spot with her getting out of it was very nice.
Yeah.
Again, you see little things from Paige that she's at least trying.
Yeah.
Trying.
I like how they rolled around and tried to...
That was very old school classic to make you believe it.
Alright, so we have a little bit more offense from Paige, but not really that much.
No.
And then we have Sasha hit the bank statement out of nowhere.
Out of
nowhere.
Gonna
be? Are we gonna start a thing? Is it gonna be bank statement out of nowhere? You know,
like the RKO, but
because she hits that bank. So her and Becky Lynch both will hit their finishers out of nowhere, and I really dig that. And so we have Sasha picking up, in my opinion, a much deserved win.
Not only much deserved, but a huge win.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge win, no matter what you want to say about Paige's performances in recent months. Yeah. It is Paige, and that's a big win.
Oh yeah. So Sasha, I think, is 2 out of 3 for her matches.
I think so. I
think we're really starting to see them build up Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. So I really hope that these women are the ones they give the ball to, and one of these women are the ones that take the belt off of Nikki Bella, because as far as I'm concerned, the other girls involved in this, they need to head back down to NXT and do some training.
Big time. Before we move on, I'm only going to say this one thing. To WWE directly, you need to give us the NXT page here. This is too perfect of an opportunity to not do it, because you've got these women up from NXT. Give us the NXT quality all around, please. Otherwise, you're really going to be killing one of your, well, maybe your top name now.
Yeah, they're really the only thing that they can do is just pull the ripcord and take Paige off TV for a while, in my opinion. Take her off, let her be missed, because she's so oversaturated now, and this character is so boring, and she's so out of ring shape that...
She really is.
And it's weird for her to be out of ring shape, considering the fact that she's so active every week wrestling, but she's so boring. And then, she's such a bitch on Total Divas and such a bitch on Tough Enough that I'm just like, I'm over you. I
really think her problem is more than anything an attitude problem.
Yeah, well, she needs to take her attitude and sit on the couch for a minute.
As much as I love her, I got to agree. If you're an asshole and it starts to affect your work, you need to step away and reevaluate.
Yeah, so we want NXT Paige back, because I can forgive her being an asshole all day long as long as she's putting on a good match.
Hell yeah! Well, I guess we can move on from this match before it turns into one of our famous hour-long rants.
Hour-long rant on Paige. Well, the next little part that we have is a promo from Seth Rollins. Did you notice how just dead Renee Young is tonight? She's just, her eyes are just, it's like, maybe she doesn't feel well or something.
I don't know.
She's just not, normally Renee Young is like all kind of spunk.
She just might be having an off night.
Yeah, everyone has an off night. I just had never seen Renee Young have an off night before. But yeah, nice little promo on how John Cena's time has passed, essentially, is what he's saying. Okay, so the next thing that we had was a match that, now granted, Devo and I have been watching the Hulu version.
Yeah, it's about the only way I can get the matches right now.
We've been watching the Hulu version because we're having all kinds of fun difficulties with actually getting to see Raw. So we've been watching the Hulu version, and this was one of the matches that they actually cut out that I had to go back, watch, and add back into this. So forgive us if we're not as up to speed on it as we should be, but we're working with some London here. Anyway, it's the Lucha Dragons versus Los Matadores. And, it's a pretty standard match as far as those guys go. It's a good match. For me personally, as a person who loves Lucha Libre, it really is insulting, because the only real Lucha Libre style wrestler you have in there is Kalisto.
Yeah, that unfortunately, because of what the WWE did to the real Sin Cara, Mystico, we have Unico having to don the mask, and it's an obvious difference.
Well, an extreme difference. And whereas Unico has made strides in that department, it's still just not the same.
Well, no,
and it's just not on the level. I was like, this is not Lucha Libre. This is...
No, you can't replace Mystico. I mean, he is, in my opinion, the best Lucha Libre high flyer in the world.
No, yeah. And then, of course, you've got Los Matadores, who's been doing this same dance for a while now, ever since
Yeah.
they broke away from Rosa Mendez. And again, this is a match that's solely there to build more heat between the primetime players who are on commentary and the New Day who come down during the match. And let me just say that Kofi Kingston skipping is the funniest thing.
The way he was skipping and clapping it almost seemed unnatural the way he was moving.
Yes. And I was watching Big E to the side, who's doing this super exaggerated marching band kind of thing. Those guys are so funny. They have taken this gimmick and really made it their own and really made it hilarious. And I love it. And he comes down with the sign that says the real Mega Dad of the Year, because of course Titus O'Neil got the Mega Dad of the Year award. And so there's just been this constant back and forth with New Day and primetime players, and I'm sure we'll see those two go up against each other again at SummerSlam. So not really too much development there, just...
Yeah, I never really understood what New Day was supposed to be, but you're right, they've made it their own.
Yeah, through the power of positivity, they've made it their own.
But as far as the actual match goes, oh my God, Kalisto.
Yeah.
I freaking love this little guy. In fact, I watch him, and I'm taken back to being a teenager, being in high school, and watching the Cruiserweight division of WCW. That guy would have been perfect against Rey Mysterio Jr. Yes, I said it, Jr. Juventud Guerrera, guys like that. Psicosis? Yes.
SADS.
SADS was WWF.
Yeah.
But he would have been perfect in that division at that time. So yeah, that right there should tell you this guy's level of skill, and it's a shame that they don't have a division like that for him to be in.
And really, with the emerging popularity of Lucha Underground, I don't see why they aren't trying to build some kind of division.
I don't see why they haven't had a real cruiserweight division this long. I mean, it worked. It worked beautifully for WCW, and it really only makes sense.
Well, from there we go into a Summer Rae and Rusev segment. And this is what happened with those two. Alright, and so we've got the program opening, and it's got Summer Rae and Rusev in the ring. And again, we have Rusev talking on the mic, different considering, back when he was with Lana, Lana talked on the mic all the time. But we've got him talking about how it is a woman's privilege to obey. But it is a man's privilege to give gifts, so he begins to give the lovely, and as he likes to call her, the hot Summer.
Hot.
some presents from him. So initially we have him pull out a box, and it is a god-awful looking dog, if you ask me. It's not very cute.
I think it was cute. You could tell the poor little thing was scared to death.
It must have been that he was terrified. I wonder if that's Summer Rae's real dog, because he seemed to be more relaxed when she was holding it.
It's very possible. Probable.
But so, there's the whole dog, and she's like, "What's his name?" And he tells her that, he's not very cute.
He's not very cute. He's got skinny legs. He's neutered. He peed on himself. Let's call him Dog Ziggler.
Yeah. And I'll have you know that after that segment, Dog Ziggler trended worldwide on Twitter. So Dog Ziggler is a thing now. But
trending now worldwide.
Dog Ziggler. Okay, well then we have another box that Summer Rae gets to open, and it is a headless fish.
And it's been gutted too. You can tell that too. But it's a headless, cold, dead fish.
And Rusev decides he wants to name that as well. And what he names that is
Lana.
And from there we hear the infamous "Shut up."
Shut up. I love it.
And
I love Lana.
She proceeds to walk to this ring, dropping a friggin' Lana pipe bomb.
Lana is what every valet should go for. She is the best. I mean, she should be the natural progression of Miss Elizabeth.
Oh yes.
But Lana, oh my God, that she's on the mic, it's magic. And she comes down there, and you could tell she's just happy with herself. She's trying not to smile.
Mm-hmm.
Lana's facial expressions are she's another one that has those expressions that she won the genetic lottery.
Oh my God, such a beautiful woman. Such a beautiful woman.
And I love it when she gets in the ring. She doesn't really say too much. Shoes come off, and she goes right to Summer Rae. Kicks her in the thigh. I guess she gave her a dead leg. And then immediately puts on an arm lock. That was impressive. And then pushes her face into the now fallen dead fish.
Yeah. And what's funny is that, she points out, she's like, you dress her like me, you look at me while you're kissing her, and she's like, and you're pathetic because all you've done is lose since you hooked up with this wannabe Lana kind of deal. So that she got some shots were fired by Lana.
Shots fired! Oh, shots were fired.
And then Summer Rae, when she gets that fish in her face, goes berserk.
It reminds me of every preppy teenage high school girl that has to deal with anything halfway gross.
Oh, it was so funny. I love that. Like when Lana leaves, he throws the fish at her, and it almost
hits her. But I love Lana's holding that head up, shoulders back, strutting out. She's smiling,
waving.
The crowd loves it.
Oh my gosh.
And the way we end it is Summer Rae having an absolute temper tantrum.
I loved that. Baby! And she's just, and then her little stomping. No one pitches a fit like Summer Rae.
No.
It's really,
no.
It was really, really, really good. I loved that. I think that was a great storyline progression. And again, I said it once before, and I'll say it again, I enjoy this storyline more with Golf missing, actually.
Well, maybe him being absent will give them time to find a better place in the story for him. But yeah, it's been more enjoyable.
Definitely. Okay.
Lana's holding her own.
Oh, Lana needs no man. And she will let you know that. Lana needs no man to stand alone. Okay, so, from there, we move into another segment, and that is Bray Wyatt coming out to address the crowd. Okay, so, Devo, what do you think about what Bray Wyatt had to say?
Well, let me just be clear, if I haven't already. Bray Wyatt, this is my guy in this generation of wrestlers. Bray Wyatt is a genius. I love everything about this guy, everything. This was a little bit of a confusing promo, even though it was his usual genius approach. The guy is magical on that mic. But he was talking about, it's all about family, and I know that he's alluding to the Wyatt family, and he had Luke Harper, speak his piece, as he said.
Yeah.
And he's making all these allegories and these comparisons, and
the world has teeth.
The world has teeth. He was talking about his pet, how it learned his lesson, and when he's told the little children that your mommies and daddies don't love you, I bet the WWE the company had to be taking a collective, inhale. That had to be a Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
But that is what makes a great gimmick, is when you're pushing that envelope and you get in people's heads, and that's what he does best. I'm really not sure what he's trying to go for here. Of course, that's part of the genius of it, but I think what he's trying to get at is that the Wyatt family is loyal to one another.
Yeah, I felt like he was really trying to question the loyalty, the brothership between brotherhood.
Brothership. That's a new one. Thank you, George W.
Brothership. The brotherhood between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. I really feel like he was trying to crack on that.
That's probably what that's about.
Because he says that if Roman did care about Dean, that he would tell him to run.
Yeah, he's in danger.
Yeah, but so what is Bray? But it's Roman's hill to die on. Why is it necessarily Roman's hill to die on?
That goes back to, why has he targeted Roman Reigns in the first place?
Well, I know it's been like anyone but you. He's the golden boy and everything like that. But what? I mean,
yeah, I hope that there's more to the story than they're letting on right now, trying to build this psychological character. But again, do we really want to trust the WWE that they're going to do that? This isn't the Attitude Era we're talking about.
We've got to trust Bray to do that.
We've got to trust Bray.
So we have to listen to all these kooky, crazy Wyatt family things. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the promo. It's nice to see Luke Harper back with them. I'm just not necessarily sure what's going on.
No, and I think and I hope that that's on purpose, but it feels like Bray and the Wyatt family's creepy factor that they had when they first debuted were together is starting to come back. And that's really the magic of it. Bray by himself is great, but he can really take it up several notches if he's got the people following him. To me, Like, when he first debuted, it felt to me like this guy was almost like a Ted Bundy.
Yeah. I think it was King one night that said, the Manson family meets Duck Dynasty.
Yeah. Yeah. Manson and Duck Dynasty, straight out of the Florida Everglades.
Yeah, I love Bray Wyatt. I love his voice. And you know, just as far as booking goes, the Shield and the Wyatt family,
That was always an exciting match.
that was always a great match, always a great feud. So, you know, we're only removed 2 people this time, so it's kind of like it's the same people but a whole new story. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Okay, well, up next, what we have is the Divas Tag Team match. So the second Divas segment of the night, very exciting. We've got Charlotte and Becky Lynch going up against Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox. So this was actually a really good match, I think. It lasted about 7 minutes.
Yeah, give or take about 7 minutes.
And you had a good showing from every woman involved. Now, it came out today that Alicia Fox actually was injured early on. She had a mild concussion through that match, which is insane because she gave a great performance. I would not have noticed anything was wrong with her.
No, but after watching the bump that she took when Charlotte just kicked her legs out from underneath her, yeah, you can tell. You could tell that had to be it.
That had to be it, yeah. And we saw her, like, holding her head,
stumbling around. Yeah, that was a legit injury, but she did give us a great performance, even being concussed.
Yeah, I feel like every woman had a really good spot in this match.
Yeah, even Nikki Bella really did pretty good here.
Yeah, I liked Nikki's springboard or slingshot suplex.
She did a slingshot suplex, pull a page out of Tully Blanchard's book.
Yeah, it was really poor Charlotte Flair. They just continually were doing moves to pull her shorts further and further up her ass.
And that moment when after she had been in that god awful surfboard stretch from Alicia Fox, and then just flips over backwards and flops on her into the pin.
That was hilarious.
That was awesome.
That was so funny.
Funny but awesome.
I mean, if it had been a little faster, it would have looked really sick, but it was just funny. And I liked earlier in the match where you had Becky and...
My girl, Becky!
You had Becky and Charlotte do the double kip up. I liked that a lot.
Yeah. It was the drop kick itself was sloppy as hell, but like you said, it was because of the height difference, I'm sure. But oh my God, they had that synced up well. It looked good. My girl Becky, when she does those arm drags, I'm taken back to Ricky Steamboat. They are that pretty.
She does them so beautifully.
I mean, she gets that deep up underneath arm motion, and the form's perfect. And then she was pulling up Suplex City. I saw.
Oh yeah, Becky definitely. Becky
she had a clean.
Can take you to Suplex City pretty fast.
Beautiful T-bone suplex, and I'm not quite sure what that variation of the vertical suplex is she did with the arm lock, but it was gorgeous.
That's what I always like about Becky is she's so fast in the ring. She has so many different suplexes and locks that she can put on in a heartbeat. Like we saw, the match ended with Alicia Fox trying to roll her up, and she just kept rolling her over into the
armbar.
Yeah, into her it's called the disarm her is what she called it.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was the name. I like that.
That's what she had started calling it. I love it. I love her last kicker.
The last kicker.
She's got a lot of fun. She's got a lot of fun puns. Becky is awesome.
I love Becky. Everything about Becky. I have a weakness for redheads anyway. So right there,
but Becky's an orange head.
Well, now she's an orange head, but she's an authentic Irish redhead. She's also, right to my heart, not only an Irish redhead, but an amazing wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
And her style, she's so off the wall, goofy. I love that.
Oh, yeah. And definitely a gorgeous girl. I like that she's totally different than any diva we've ever seen.
I love the steampunk thing.
Oh, yeah. She's totally different than any diva we've ever seen, and she's kooky as hell, and I love that. Keep it up. Keep it more Becky Lynch.
Just don't change what you're doing, because Becky has got it perfect. Mm-hmm. Keep doing that, and you will go very, very far.
Oh, so a really great showing.
Excellent
all
match.
the women, and Becky Lynch coming out with the win. So that's, Team Bella's been taking a beating here. I think they might have picked up a win on SmackDown the other day, but really, they are not looking so strong going into SummerSlam. So.
No, and honestly, they represent the current status quo, and that needs to be shattered. Everyone hates what the Divas division has been for the past 10 years.
Oh, yeah. So I'm excited to see. It's just
That's going to be a good one to watch.
No, that is going to be a good one to watch. All eyes are on the Divas division right now. They're giving them the time. They've given them the people. They're giving them the storyline. Now it's all up to these girls to work, and they go with it. So I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, well, let's keep the ball rolling. I could talk about Divas all night, but let's keep the ball rolling. The next thing that we had was the first ever meeting of the one and only Kevin Owens versus the Viper,
yeah,
Randy Orton.
This is an interesting matchup. Going into this match and them never meeting up, you're immediately taken to all the different forms of violence and viciousness that both of these are known for.
Yeah, but, it took a different approach for me, so we'll get to that. All right, so we've got Kevin Owens up against Randy Orton, and we've got Sheamus on commentary looking mighty fine, if I do say so myself.
I miss the old look.
I prefer the old look for him, and I really hate the stuff in his beard, but Sheamus can feel a pair of jeans pretty well. He's a nice looking man.
Okay, see, that doesn't register with me. All I see is a guy that looks like a dwarf.
Yeah, see, this is my moment where you had your moment of, I'm a red-blooded American man. I can appreciate beautiful women. Well, I'm a red-blooded American woman, and I can appreciate Sheamus's pants. All right, so the match starts off with like a bit of a tense standoff between Randy.
Yeah, I was really drawn in there. I want to know what they were saying.
Yeah, and then it breaks down to a shoving match, and eventually some blows exchanged, and Kevin's out of the ring. And then some blows exchanged outside of the ring. To me, they really went too heavy on the outside of the ring stuff in this match.
They did.
It was like they were just constantly throwing each other into things.
Yeah, it's really all it was just throwing back and forth. And with two guys that are known for such violence, I said it before, they're known for violence. You would expect a lot more.
Well, yeah, Kevin Owens is known for violence, but for me, this match was just the worst of the night.
Yeah, God,
I never in a million years thought that I would say Kevin Owens was in one of the worst matches of the night. But he was.
And I believe it was a product of bad booking here, because we know after his series with Cena what he's capable of.
Oh, definitely. And so I don't know what it was with Randy Orton. Maybe it was just Randy Orton feeling like he should be a ring general or whatever, but if Kevin Owens can take it to John Cena like he has the past 3 matches they had, he should not have had that much trouble with Randy.
No, and that was a job match. I mean, he jobbed out to Randy Orton, and there was no excuse for that.
He did. It's really pretty much regressed his character, in my opinion. It's made him look really weak, and I can't stand that because you had an amazing, dominant heel in Kevin Owens who came in and had this surprise upset over John Cena.
Yeah, and the quality of matches you were getting was something, as I've said in the past, transplanted from another era. They were off the chart good.
This crap with the traditional heel things does not need to apply to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens needs to be a wrecking ball and consistently putting on wrestling matches because Kevin Owens is a wrestler. Yes, he's a brawler, but we've seen him throw down and throw some wrestling moves.
We've seen him throw more than just a few wrestling moves.
Yeah. So honestly, I don't even want to spend too much time on this match because I think it's bullshit. Of course, we have Sheamus interfere with a brogue kick. The only exciting part of this for me is when my bae, Cesaro, comes running out.
And goes airborne.
And clocks the shit out of Sheamus and then proceeds to fly over the top rope.
He does fly.
And
he really does fly.
Cesaro is the only really standout in that match.
And that's that. He was in there for a couple of seconds with just enough for a few moves, and he was the best thing about the whole exchange.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But that's just setting up further feud between Cesaro and Kevin Owens, where we're going to get some
hell yeah.
matches.
Hell yeah. Give me that shit right there.
As Owens was leaving, he made it kind of clear that it wouldn't be the last time him and Randy Orton met. But
it better be the last time we see him that quality of match.
It's like, if you want what's best for business, please let that be the last time. And again, I am so sick of Sheamus versus Randy Orton. Did you know that since 2009, Randy Orton and Sheamus have been on PPV, pay-per-view, 19 times fighting each other? 19 times.
I knew it was quite a bit, but 19? Yeah. Can you really not find anything better for these two to do?
They have. I don't think they have any chemistry together. It's very boring.
Well, yeah, they're both really they're both wooden when it comes to, well, everything, now that I think about it.
Not the two best wrestlers.
No.
No chemistry together.
No.
Just give it a fucking break. No one gives a shit about Sheamus and Randy Orton fighting each other again. Drop it.
This has been a
Drop
public service
it.
announcement.
Hi, this is Brandie from MsWrestleBlog coming to you with a public service announcement. Hi, WWE. No one gives a shit about Sheamus and Randy Orton. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
That's really all I have to say about it. I don't want to waste another friggin' second on it. It was crap. Cesaro was the only great thing of it. The only good thing coming out of it is we're going to get more Cesaro versus Kevin Owens, and that's going to be beautiful. Other than that, they can take a piss. I don't give a shit.
Suck it!
In the words of
Degeneration X. We got 2 words for you!
Suck it. Okay, so after that, we had this segment with Renee interviewing Cena, and can I just say that Renee Young looks friggin' high?
God, that was the first thing I thought when we came back from commercial break, staring into the camera, completely dead-eyed.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier that she was really off tonight, but she just looked straight up stoned.
She did. She did.
Stoned or depressed or both, I'm not sure. She needed a hug. Someone needed to be there for Renee because she was not there for her.
No, she was not there.
I'm used to Renee being like, "Wah!" on all cylinders, and she was like, "Meow." I didn't like it, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it was a standard John Cena interview. It didn't last long, maybe what, 2 or 3 minutes, and we.
And it was all about bragging rights.
Yeah. And at least he spelled it out perfectly, clearly, and correctly.
Mm-hmm. He sure did. So we get Cena and Rollins. Rollins and his entrance music that you hate.
It sounds like jobber music, not just jobber music. It sounds like WCW jobber music.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst jobber music. Oh,
it does. I can think of several wrestlers from that time period in WCW who had themes almost identical to that one.
Yeah.
I can go check my library on iTunes and pull them up.
Out of the Shield, he definitely got the short end of the stick on his music. He really did.
No, he didn't, because Reigns is still using the Shield music.
Yeah, but the Shield music was badass.
Yeah, but not in the context of not Shield anymore.
Well, that's true. Dean Ambrose got his sweet spot.
Yeah.
I love Dean Ambrose's music. It feels crazy, just like him. So we see Cena come out, and noticeably, there is no John Cena's
yeah, I heard just a little bit of it, just a little. But nothing compared to what you're normally hearing.
I know. I think he's slowly starting to gain some street cred, and by God, after this match, he deserved it. So
oh my God!
We've got
the pain.
We've got John Cena and Seth Rollins in the ring, and it was nice. It was light at first, some classic wrestling moves going on. I really enjoyed that. It was interesting to me how Cena would go for some of his classic Cena moves, and Seth would wriggle out. And I kept thinking the whole time I was watching this match was, this kind of psychology is the psychology that should have been used in the previous match with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah.
The match with Cena and Rollins should have been the same approach with that match. This is not a squash match, and you would expect that out of John Cena, but this turned out to be possibly the best match of the night.
I think so. I actually disagree and say that the Divas took match of the night, but this was very close second, and it probably would have been match of the night had John Cena not gotten his nose broken.
No, broken in the most disgusting fashion. That was a severe break. So I'll handle the breaking of the nose in a minute. Let's actually talk about the match itself. All in all, there was actual wrestling psychology, high spots, low spots.
Hayabusa.
Oh yeah, Seth Rollins at the end channeling Hayabusa. For those of you who don't know who Hayabusa is, back in the mid to late 90s, there was a Japanese wrestler named Hayabusa. Masked wrestler, by the way, one of the coolest masks you will ever see. This guy was an innovator of a lot of different styles and moves, and he used the 2 moves Seth Rollins used at the very end of the match. The Falcon Arrow, which was the sit-out vertical suplex slam, and then the move at the end, the Phoenix Splash. Those were all Hayabusa.
I remember watching this the first time, because I've watched it a couple of times since I watched it the first time, and going, holy shit, Seth Rollins just did a Falcon Arrow, and it made my life for a few minutes to see the Falcon Arrow get used again. I was like, oh.
The last person that I've seen it used, or the last person I saw to see it in WWE was Hardcore Holly.
Mm-hmm.
And that was during the Attitude Era, and I believe he called it the Holocaust.
I think he did. He called it was called the Falcon Arrow for a while, and then I think he changed it over to Holocaust. So the match was great back and forth, even after that with Cena. Cena taking some big hits even after.
Yeah. Props to that guy. You can't find a tougher man than somebody who is going to get a major injury like that and still keep going.
Yeah. So actually, we've got two Billy Badasses on this episode of Raw. We've got Cena with the broken nose and Alicia Fox with the
concussion. That's true.
So I've got a lot of respect for them for carrying on like that.
Yeah, that should be points way up in the respect for everybody toward those two.
Oh yeah, and so and periodically, I was really waiting for the doc that kept sliding in and wiping Cena's nose. I was really waiting for him to call the match.
I'm surprised he didn't.
There were multiple times where you saw Cena being like, "I'm fine, let me go."
You are not fine. Your nose is on the other side of your face.
Exactly. But we do finally get John Cena coming off with the win off the STF.
And I noticed something about that STF. You know, like usually when Cena locks that, there's like an inch of space between his hands and their chin. He wrenched that sucker back, and he had his hands across Seth Rollins' nose as if to say, "Fuck you! Fuck you!"
Yeah, I feel like, especially like right after it happened with Cena's nose and Cena went for Rollins, I kind of feel like Cena maybe didn't pull some punches when he was hitting him.
Do you blame the guy? He just had his nose broken by one of the most vicious knee shots I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's like that.
You're going to be pissed off.
That was not necessary, Seth. And I don't know who that was a botch by. Was that a botch by Seth? Was that a botch by Cena?
I don't think it was Cena, because if you go back and watch the replay, Cena just kind of turned into it. I think that Rollins got a little bit overexcited, a little overzealous with what he was doing.
Yeah, well, they were having a really good back and forth, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that it was obviously it was a total accident, but it might have been just heat of the moment. Yeah! Yeah!
And,
oops!
Yeah, and, oh no. I've made John Cena's face look like Mr. Potato. Oh, no.
Mr. Potato Head.
Oh, poor John Cena. But other than that, it was a great match. And I really respected that. During the match, you heard these John Cena chants.
Again.
And they weren't just like, I'm so used to, just like a chorus of little children and women going, "That's John Cena," and an overwhelming amount of men going, "Cena sucks."
There wasn't, it's just like with his entrance. You didn't have the chant of John Cena sucks with his music. You actually had more cheering, and then when we had the famous back and forth, let's go Cena, Cena sucks, you had more let's go Cena, and it was...
And you look in the front row, and there are grown men out there.
Yeah, grown men going crazy.
Marking out for Cena. So I really think this United States title run has really helped reestablish him and give him a little more credibility.
And not just the run itself, those matches with Owens.
Those matches with Owens especially have been awesome.
The last one, Cena must have pulled out half a dozen brand new moves.
Yeah, so I was a little skeptical at first when they took that title off of Rusev and gave it to John Cena, because I felt like they would be burying Rusev. But Rusev has,
as we've seen tonight,
really, just kept chugging along in a really good little storyline with Dolph and Lana and Summer, and you've got Cena, who's been, for the past 4 months, putting on amazing matches with people and really opening up his catalog of moves.
And putting some much-needed legitimacy to that U.S. title.
Yeah, definitely.
He's really made that title worth something.
I would say right now that United States title is worth more than that Intercontinental title.
Well, yeah, especially considering the IC belt's not even being defended.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that was just a freak thing with Ryback and the staph infection, but really, I hate to say this, but I agree with The Miz. You strip Daniel Bryan of it for a medical absence. Why are you not doing it with Ryback?
Yeah. Well, because Ryback might be back a little sooner than Daniel Bryan would have been back, but at the same time, honestly, like, that belt has not. That's supposed to be the secondary belt of the company. It's been traditionally the workhorse belt.
Yeah, how many guys have had their careers made because they had that belt?
Oh, and really, they will put it on someone who's amazing and does amazing things with it, and then they'll drop it to someone like The Miz or something like that, and it's just stupid. And so now you've got this, like, John Cena's open challenge for his belt has really, because it can be anybody. You've got the best and the brightest from NXT coming up. You know, the United States title hunt is where it's at right now for good quality matches. And Cena was not wrong when he told Rollins that the longer he holds that U.S. belt and the longer that Seth Rollins holds that world title, the better it makes Cena look. Because really, in the company right now, he's not wrong. He is the champ. He's the fightingest champ we've got.
Yeah, and how often will Rollins defend that belt?
Only once a month at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, you know, I understand wanting to make your pay-per-views the big deal, but that title should be defended just like any other. Just like what Cena's doing. Could you imagine an open challenge for the World Heavyweight title? I mean, I know you'd be getting all kinds of peons as the company would see them, but, you know, you'd have some gems come up, too.
You would have some classics come out of that.
You would.
Because you would have people that would never traditionally be in that title hunt come up. So I think it would be a great idea. I think we will see Cena versus Rollins at SummerSlam because technically Cena won #1 contendership tonight. He beat the champ.
He did beat the champ. And although I do have to say, I like the old way where Intercontinental Champion was automatically #1 contender.
I prefer that too, but right now the people they've got in that Intercontinental title hunt ain't worth it.
Nope, and that's why they need to start shifting their focus of what those belts mean.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't really have much else to say about that. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of MsWrestleBlog. It's a raw reaction. We're just working on cranking them out. We hope to have you another one out on Friday going over what happened with NXT, SmackDown, and I'll talk a little bit about what happened on Total Divas tonight. So, guys, please click subscribe below if you like what you hear. If you've got some questions, if you've got some comments, if you agree, disagree, or you just want to tell us we suck, please put it in the comments below. You know, some news is better than no news. And again, you can follow me at MsWrestleBlog on Twitter. And this is Brandie signing off. Have a good night.